Well, good morning. Hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. So today we've headed down to Malham, and specifically Malham Cove. It's not somewhere I've been before. I've never kind of come down this far into Yorkshire itself, so I wanted to come and check this out. And so far you can see the weather is absolutely crap. So we're going to have to see what we can make of this today with this sort of weather conditions. So yeah, it's going to be a case of a bit of exploration, see what we can find. There's plenty of trees, there's plenty of limestone pavements, there's plenty of that stuff going on, but the clouds up in the sky, there's not much texture, it's just pretty much white. So I'm hoping as the day goes on we get a bit more texture up in the clouds at least. Otherwise it's going to be looking around for the smaller details again, but we'll have to see what we can find. So head up this way and hopefully we come across something. So I'm not gonna lie, today's been a bit of a struggle so far. We went to Malham Cove and there wasn't really a lot going on. I felt quite uninspired, and coming up here, obviously we have this lone tree back here which is obviously shot quite a lot, but I thought because we're here it made sense to come up and check it out. But I'm not feeling terribly inspired, if I'm honest. The rain's actually pelting right towards us, and really I need to shoot in that direction because I've been to the other side of that tree to look back this way, and there's actually way too much going on behind you in that direction to make it work. So really the shot's from here looking back the other way. But I can see a few problems like dry stone walls, stuff like that, other little trees sticking up above the horizon, lots of little things that are just niggling at me. Maybe I'm being too picky, I don't know, but I'm going to grab a shot because we're here. And it'd be silly not to, but it's going to be quite difficult to do because, as I say, it's going to be a one shot and then run because the rain's just pelting straight towards me. Yeah, I'm just going to grab this shot. So I'm not going to walk you through it because it's just too wet to do so, but I think what we're going to do is after we've been here, we're going to head back along the road, back towards the other direction. We did pass a couple of nice woodlands that look kind of as though they might work. We just need somewhere we can get a bit of shelter and hopefully use these conditions to our advantage somehow. So, had a bit of lunch, pot noodle, and now we're heading a bit further along this riverbank here, and as you can see it's actually dried up, which is a bonus because as you could see earlier on there it did nothing but hammer it down. So a bit more hopeful now that we're going to get something, a bit more light knocking around, so just need to find something to photograph next. So I'm going to walk down this track, have a bit of an explore and hopefully find something to work with. So finally I've found a shot. Now it's probably not going to be the most amazing shot, but the fact that I've found a shot is really kind of lifting my spirits today. You get these days where, or I get these days especially, when you're going around and you have expectations that you're going to get shots. Now today I kind of knew it was going to be wet, but I was kind of hoping that it would clear up at some point and we'd at least get something. And just having a walk through the countryside, being outside, being outdoors and looking for things is really kind of the whole part of it for me anyway. I like to be outside, and this is really helping me to kind of refocus in on my photography, is just being out in nature. So with that in mind, come walking along this path, I was searching down the riverbanks there for anything in the water that was of interest, didn't find anything. just thought, right, carry on. I've been across about 3 fields over in that direction, absolutely nothing. But if you can see now, there's a tree up on the hillside up here, and we are starting to get a little bit of light coming through, so I want to walk through this while we're getting the light. So I'm going to press record now so you can see what I'm looking at. Now what you'll see is I've got this set up as a 4x3 frame because I want to capture as much of it as possible. Actually going to just refocus here and grab a quick shot. And as the light's changing, it's just casting some nice light on the fields in front of me here, and it's the kind of foreground interest back here that kind of interests me, as well as the clouds sweeping across the tops of the hills there. So what I've done is composed it 4x3. I've got that tree kind of almost on that right hand third, and that's kind of where I'm aiming for there. I'm almost maybe bang on exposure there. I'm just going to underexpose it just a touch. I don't need to, because looking at my histogram it's bang in the middle anyway, but it's just for these white parts of the sky above there, which I'm not really a fan of, that kind of blue sky up there, but it still works, I think. So nothing complicated about settings. ISO 125, f16, 20th of a second, and yeah, I'm just going to grab the shot as the light changes, and hopefully here it is. So I'm just going to take you back into the camera, because as I was talking you through that, the light has now kicked off a bit more, and you can see what it's doing to the landscape. It's actually hitting those hills behind there as well as the tree. Now what I've actually done is cropped in a bit tighter from when I was talking to you guys. This hedge on the right hand side was bothering me a bit, and I was wondering how to get into it a bit closer. So what I've actually done is zoomed in a little bit tighter. Now the only thing by doing that is you're getting more of this kind of foreground down here, which has got this shadow, and it's shadows of the trees which are behind you guys there. And you can see, although it's kind of distracting that you've got a shadow, it's almost like an arrow pointing you towards that tree. So that's what I'm using is to my advantage. Now you can see the light is nicely hitting those hills behind now, and kind of giving those clouds a bit more texture as well. I think that works a whole lot better, and you can see the difference that bit of light makes to a scene. It was flat and boring before, and now you have this light, it's just elevated it and give it a bit more oomph really. So yeah, just going to grab this shot again. I've got the same settings, ISO 125, f16, 20th of a second, and I'm just rattling off the shots as the light changes. But it just seems to be getting better and better, and those clouds, as I say, have got a lot more texture now the light is actually hitting them. So just on the way back to the van now, and caught this shot here of the mountains in the distance here, and the light's dipped behind you over in this kind of direction. It's dipped behind the hill, and it's just catching the tops of these hills over there. So I've set myself up a pano format, because what I want to do is over in this direction. I'll try and show you the back of the camera in a minute, but you'll see there's a blue patch of sky above, and then it goes really dark, and I want to eliminate that blue and just draw the focus to the really dark parts of the sky and the cloud above the hills, and then the light catching the tops of the hills. Right, so what you should be seeing is, you'll see I've got this strip panel set up, and I've got the peak that's off to the left there on that left intersection there. All of the hills kind of stage in little almost like layers further back, and then you've got the light that was just kissing the top there. It has faded a bit because I think the sun's dropped a bit lower behind this hill, but I think the shot is still there, and you never know, this sky might start to catch. You'll have to excuse the noise because it's pretty windy here as well. So it's just going to be a waiting game really. I'm at roughly ISO 125, f16, 25th of a second, and I've got my IBIS switched on, because basically this wind is kind of buffeting the tripod, and you can feel the vibrations through it. So I've switched that on. Ooh, look at that.
Hot chocolate.
Ooh, look at that. That's service for you. So yeah, it's just going to be a case of waiting around now and just to get that light, and I'm hoping those clouds above are going to catch. Now before I said to you I wanted to eliminate that blue sky, so what that means is if I kind of pull this up and I open the frame up, you'll see what I mean. So if I bring it up to a 4x3, you'll see I've got that blue sky coming in from the top, and it's kind of distracting to my eye. So that's why I've gone back down to the pano format to eliminate that and make it look more moody and gritty. So yeah, just a waiting game now, and hopefully the shot will turn out. Okay, so clouds aren't really lighting up, so I think we're going to call it quits. So that's going to be it for today. Sorry it's a bit of a shorter video, but kind of the weather's just not really played ball with us, and that's sometimes the way. You've just got to get out and put yourself in it, and hopefully things will change. I mean, if this morning it looked absolutely awful, all it did is rain all the way down here. But I'm glad I got out anyway, because if I hadn't have got out, I wouldn't have got any shots at all. So it's always worth putting yourself in the position where you can actually get something if the conditions do change in your favour. So well worth getting out. A few of you will have noticed that I've changed my logo and branding. I've completely switched it out and changed it up, and I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys are too. It's going to take me a little while to roll it out across all my platforms, but you will see that change. So don't freak out if you can't suddenly find it. That is the new logo, and that will appear everywhere. So yeah, please leave your comments down below if you like it. Hopefully you do. The other thing I've got to tell you about is coming up in March, I'll be at the photography show down in London. I'll be doing a couple of talks for Case down there, so it'll be lovely to see you guys down there if you're coming down that way. And other news is we've got some workshops running. I've got one coming up in May in Abruzzo. We've got some spaces left on that, so please go and check them out on my website. I'll leave a link above for you to go and check out. We have a few spaces left on that. It's going to be a fantastic trip. I always love going back to that area. It's just such a fantastic location. The Rockies trips in Canada have now completely sold out, so there's none of those left. We have got coming up though in October, Adam and I have 2 lots of workshops, one running in Torridon, and that's going to be a week-long workshop, and another one in Glencoe, which will be another 3-day workshop. So again, I'll leave those links above. Go and check those out. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next video soon, and yeah, take care. Bye bye.